Good evening, folks. Mark Wilson here. What I have here is a Banvil Envirofan heavy-duty gold line, brand new in the box from presumably the 80s. Seemed to be the older style, but I could be wrong. I think they transitioned from Banvil to Northwest Envirofan. So let me get this box open here. The seller was actually kind enough to put the original box within another box. So hopefully I'll be able to keep the original box in good shape. Ship to Expedier A. Okay, I guess it's English and French instructions, which makes sense since it was was made in at least the company was headquartered in Canada. I believe they were made in like Hong Kong or something like that. But all right, this side up. Here, like the grand, opening up the doors to a big castle or something. And here you go. Well, I learned the French word for ceiling fan is ventilateur de plafond. 56-inch diameter, 10-inch tige, and D apostrophe abasement. Well, that's where we are. We're in a basement, so. Okay. It's a little 36-inch on the diagram, but it's actually a 56-inch fan. So let's get her open. I feel like a kid at Christmas right now. To remind myself to sharpen this knife afterwards. It's a little dull. This for a while. It's sort of the fake scrimshaw with the little fish on there. Anyway, all right. Well, here's what it looks like inside. Got the 3 big metal blades, little Christmas tree brackets, I guess you call them. Curved tip, of course. And here you have it. Pointy goodness. always loved the Banvil symbol. You know, it has the little Envirofan right there with the 3 blades. And fortunately, the sticker's starting to peel off. It seems to have been sitting around for a while, but it's quite alright. Alright by me. Well, I'm going to plug it in and make sure it works before I install the blades. Beautiful. Okay, well, there's a little bag of hardware, really big hook, some washers, nuts, in case you were wondering, that's what the Envirofan styrofoam packaging looks like. It's a little, you know, moves down into a point, obviously, which is kind of cool. Okay. Warranty information. Banvil Limited. That's nice. It'll make it nice and simplistic that the screws are already attached. Basically just have to screw the blades on and I can test it out. So people will make both videos in one video. No idea what year this fan's from. If you guys can, anybody here understands how to decode the serial numbers, I'll show that again before the end of the video, and your help would be greatly appreciated. Now, if I were actually going to install this permanently, I would include the lock washers, but since I'm just going to hang it up for a couple of minutes while I do the fan video, I am not going to include them. But they are critical if you're going to install the fan in a, you know, install it anywhere really. Technically I should be putting them on now, I'm just lazy. And now the serial number is 8508947. I'm curious as to whether the 85 would indicate that it was manufactured in 1985, which seems about right actually. This is, it's the stepped motor Envirofan, it's not the straight-sided, you know, with the plunger canopy, so it would, you know, I think they came out with the straight-sided model in 1978 that I believe was manufactured up until the early 80s. So this one would be, I'm not sure, I'm sure some of you guys know a lot, we're a little more familiar with the history of it. They would be able to tell me this model was from I want to say from the early 80s up to the mid 80s, but I know they still make the step-sided Envirofans, but the gold lines, I actually own a few, but from the early 2000s, but they're skinnier blades and nowhere near as heavy. And they also have the have the Northwest Envirofan website printed on there somewhere. So that's I think this fan predates websites, predates the internet machine. Beautiful. Excellent. Okay. There we go. There's a frontal view. Okay. Oh, ready to take it for a spin. I'm literally about an inch away. Just make sure it spins freely first. Made that mistake in the past. Okay, it's not gonna hit the books, not gonna hit the wall and the ladder. I think I'll set it up on top of this. No, you know what I'll do? I'll set it up on top of the blades. There we go. Beautiful. Alrighty then, I'm in a bit of a dilemma. The cord doesn't quite fit. So, I'm going to take down the upper canopy. Ha! Or not. Anyway, I think I'll try hooking it on the other side. This might be a little closer to the cord. Being kind of ornery. There we go. Okay, the cord's not going to droop. Spin it manually just to be safe. There's a little scuffage on the point. That's not good for a new fan. I try to hit a little bit of Windex, see if that comes off. Okay, maybe it's a little scuff on there, but that's okay. It adds character to industrial, if you ask me. Okay. Okay then, it's hanging up on the J-hook securely. Just gonna retighten that just in case. Didn't seem to want to slide because of the rubber gasket. That's all I need, is to have it slide down and have the cord fall into the blades and yank out my electrical socket up here. Okay, ready, set, and go. Feels like it's gonna take off in outer space or something. Oh yeah, they moved some air for sure. Of course, we knew that already, didn't we? This is by far my favorite favorite industrial fan. I remember the local library in Wakefield, Mass. Growing up had a whole scattering of these. In the main part of the library, it all had ridiculously high ceilings. It was an old building, and it is an old building, I should say. And then, when you first walk into the vestibule, big, huge open space, there were 2 gold lines, and I honestly don't remember if they were the mid 80s kind like this, or they were the late 70s, early 80s kind with the straight sides, and I think they even had a more abrupt point, but I could be wrong. But they were no, there were white gold lines, and when you walk in, there were 2. Each room on either side, there were sort of long, narrow rooms that had each one of those had one. You walk into the area, and bear in mind, all of these ceilings were probably 50 feet high. If not, maybe even more, maybe 60. I don't know, but the little narrow hallway that connected the vestibule to the main part of the library had 2, installed kind of relatively close together. Then the main part had 4, one in each corner. So there were a lot of a lot of these gold lines, and there was a drugstore in town that had 2. Actually, I think they're still there. I drove by the other day; they were still there. There's a glass store that had 2 in the main part, 2 in sort of a side area, and 1 in the loading dock, which is now another store entirely, and 1 in the back area. 2 in the back, like the garage. But they're the straight-sided older model. I know that for sure. There's a church in town. I used to go see the Messiah sing, and they had brown gold lines with the straight sides. I have pictures of those somewhere, no videos. But anyway, let's get a nice view of it. Here's the Banvil sticker. And I always thought these things looked really cool from above. You can see the curved tip industrials from above. Just, I've always liked that. Here's another close-up of the sticker for what it's worth. Alright, and there you have it, folks. And there's a shadow of a gold line. Yep, there it is. The Banvil Envirofan heavy-duty gold line from presumably the early to mid 80s. Here's a shot from it below, what most people would see it as. And yeah, I'm not sure people who are unfamiliar with this fan. What I'm referring to is the stepped-sided and straight-sided. The older models had, you know, from the late 70s, I believe their debut was 1978. They had, the sides came all the way down, and there wasn't this groove right here, this little step. So I refer to these as the step motors. You know, and they have, of course, the plunger canopy, whereas the older ones had the bell canopy. You know, of course, the trademark point at the bottom. And one of the newer fans has tried to replicate that. I'm not sure. I think it's Litex or actually, Litex or Westinghouse, or one of those guys has a pointed silver fan, but it's not as chunky of a motor. You know, it's a little more flimsy. So yeah, I mean, these are major childhood fans for me. I remember these growing up, like I said, in some of the aforementioned locations, and I absolutely I adore these fans. And you know, right now I want to say it's kind of as a tie for my second favorite fan. You know, the first one's obviously that NF Industrial that I salvaged from the garage, but you know, it's another video I made for those of you who hadn't seen it. And I've subsequently learned that NF stands for new fan. But yeah, that's this is I want to say my second favorite compared to my, you know, I have a new in-box blender fan. Actually, I should say I have 3 new in-box blender fans, 252 inches and one whatever the hell it is, 40 inch, I guess, 38 inch, 42 inch, I don't even remember. But yeah, that's I want to say it's sort of tied for, you know, just because it's new in the box, and you know, you don't see too many of these. I keep saying I'm going to buy a you know, one of the ones for, you know, off of the electrical supply house. You know, I want to buy a black one of the new ones. But yeah, I got a killer deal on this. As soon as I turned on eBay, there was a you know, it was right there, brand new in the box, $50 for a buy it now, $15 shipping. You know, as soon as I always check on eBay.